Okay. I really don't know if you're gonna be able to hear me or hear all this racket that is round about me, because I am in the airport. But I did want to speak to you guys for a little bit. Somebody told me the other day, they said, Reid, if you on a vacation, then you're not supposed to be online at all. And I said, I think I know about how to vacation or take off. The reality is I don't. I mean, 'cause we raised with a strong work ethic in my family. I went and made a trip home. And shout out to all of my family members that I did not get to see on this trip. This was last minute. I picked up and decided to go. This is what I found out. If I'm not at the house, because in the basement is where all three studios are. If I'm not in the house, then I'm more likely not to work. If I'm not sitting in my bedroom, I'm more likely not to work. Because being out, signals aren't good enough for streaming and stuff. So 9 times out of 10, I won't go live. So being away over and over from the house is really good. Because that's the way to keep me from working. So that's how I messed up, really fucked up this whole vacation try that I went on in December. And I done more shows than I have done in the last year and a half in that little space of time from December to really almost the end part of March. But I first went on vacation. Somebody asked me, they said, why you go on vacation? Why you take a break? Many of you are new. There are 162,000 plus followers on Facebook, and recently we passed 100,000 on YouTube. I think now we're at 108,000 already. But I started doing this show in unofficially, not up under the Larry Live name in 2015, 2016, June. 2016 is when officially we done the first Larry Live. And if you are new, you don't know that I started it with my baby mama. At the time, she was still my wife. And at the time was my administrative assistant. Well, what ended up happening was they took different changes and stuff in life, and eventually I was on my own. And so March the 26th of 2018, I began to do Larry Live. It was always called Larry Live. I began to do it on my own. And I was finding my way. But it was always what I knew needed to be. Because me by myself, you imagine me and two other big personalities of the show, but just too much. But it calmed with just me because I'm like 10 people wrapped up in one anyway. And I literally worked every Monday night. I brought to you guys a Monday night show from March the 26th, 2018, all the way to December with no stop. No stop. So this is my vacation. And it's like I'm really breathing for the first time because prior to that time in 2018, I stopped my church in 2017. Yes, I was a traditional pastor for 20 years. I went to a church building for 20 years. Actually, the last 2 years, the church was actually online mainly. And because I moved here to Atlanta in August of 2015. So I made a post earlier, and I'm looking at the comments, and a lot of you were encouraged. So hopefully, I'm gonna re-mention what I posted, and if anything else come to mind while I'm telling it, it may um it may encourage you some more. So I'm gonna tell you about it. So now, if you will follow me on social cam days, I remember one time coming out of my house and saying, I got this idea. I feel like, I need to da da da. Another time I came out my house and I said I had this dream that I picked up my church and moved inside of a mall, and I think it had some kind of meaning. So if you've been following me for a long time, you saw all of this stuff unfold. And when I first started online, the LRL show, our first topic was about going outside the four walls of the church. So, and I was saying in 2020, the church is going to change forever. I done a big blog, B-L-O-G, not blog like I do now, B-L-O-G, on cyber churches and the importance of them. And so if you've been watching me for a long time, you saw all this unfold. Even when I didn't know what I was doing, you can look back and be like, oh my God, you were you were ahead of the time, definitely, but it's like you went step by step to where you are now. And you guys, a lot of people don't know, when I left North Carolina, it was August of 2015, I moved to Atlanta. And when I moved here, everything was still well. I was still pastoring the church in North Carolina. I was driving back and forth. That's right. I would get up early on Sunday morning and drive 6.5 hours to my church. The building was in Morosgo. And preach, prophesy, pray, get back on the road, drive right back. Yep, I done it every single Sunday. And probably after about several weeks of doing that, actually November. So from August to November, I done that. And then I had this idea. Now, we've always streamed online, but I had an idea about churches being online, and I needed to pastor my church from online. And it was a big idea at the time, and something I hadn't seen nobody else do. And so I really made the Breakthrough Church turn into, that's why I came up with MBN Network. My Breakthrough Now is what it stands for. And the word now meaning online, on demand. So you see, I was in the future, all of this, before all this started happening. And I was saying, people need to be able to get spiritual empowerment and education and even entertainment on demand. They don't have to be at the four walls of a church. They don't have to be there. They can get it online. They can watch it live, or either they can come back and watch replays. They need to be on demand or now. So that's how all of that got started, 2015. So the next 2 years, we were online until I totally stopped that concept and I went fully behind the whole LarryReid thing was blowing up. And I felt at home doing that. But Sharon, listen here. I wish I had somebody to tell me, say, look, you better be saving up some money somewhere. Because you about to, the 20 years, after 20 years, folks be retired most time. I know they're in the military. And you going to a whole nother job. Now, somebody watching me, you may feel like, I know we're in a pandemic, but you still got that thing bothering you that you need to be doing something else and going to another industry. I did it. Pay attention to what I'm saying. When I walked away from doing what I was doing, I said I had a whole audience doing what I was doing. I've been doing it for 20 years. And then I come over there to do LarryReid. Them same folk that were sitting in my church, even the same people that was following me on the road singing and stuff, love my music. They love the preaching, be the main ones hollering in the audience. But when I done this, those people were like, wait a minute, you out of your whole mind. Even family members, you stupid, you backslidden, you're crazy. And then pastor friends were like, man, your church was like one of the model church. Your church was small. You had like the Gideon concept going. Yeah, you had a small group, but you were all on these national platforms and this beautiful, beautiful building. And we're trying to be like you, and you go online. But I just went with what I felt. And clearly now they're looking like Darren. We should have let that go back there. He had the concept for we did. But into Darren way, that's what I did. And it just happened to be all of the prophecies that we have been hearing all of them years about touching the world and your name becoming a household name and people knowing you everywhere and thousands of people across the world, millions of people you would touch. We thought it was going to happen. And even I thought that on some level. That it was going to happen by me just preaching and singing, going around different preaching. One day TD Jakes going to invite me to come preach and I'm just going to be known everywhere. I'll be on TV and they start. And so everybody was like, ooh, ooh, Reid. And even people, travel people, they went with me around the world and on these national platforms who always wanted to do music. I took them with me. And so all these people was happy. So and the church was growing. So, a lot of these people probably felt like that I killed their dream, because I went a whole different route and I didn't take anybody with me. I hopped and moved to Atlanta and said, I'm doing the church online and I'm moving to Atlanta and none of y'all ain't got to come. And some of them moved and I didn't ask them to come. They moved thinking, well, whatever he's going to do next, we're going to all do it together. I didn't know what it will be. Now it's very, very clear now. But anyway, let me tell you what happened. So because I switched all of that, just following the Lord, I looked around and said, wait a minute, I ain't got no money to pay all the bills. And I got properties in North Carolina that I still got to pay for. So I still had employees from the London church that was over here. And oh, no, there was some. I still had Kendall and Vincent. They were still employees. It was a lot. And I done stepped out and done changed everything. Needless to say, thanks be to God, everybody that was working with me or for the ministry, eventually, they were able to transition and get into their own thing. Vincent, Charlton, the Query family from London, Kendall, everybody was able to go into something else and make their own money. But I lost every darn thing. And for the second time in my life, at whatever age I was at the time, I had to file bankruptcy. That's right, I lost everything. Everything. And I had stuff that was in my name for the church and two huge accounts that were in the name of two other members. So I had to work good enough to continue to pay that. In fact, there was a little space of time and I said, I can't pay y'all nothing. Can y'all pay it? And I'm going to pay it. Thanks be to God, I eventually paid it all. I ain't leave nobody no debt but myself. And so I had to file bankruptcy. So anyway, here I go. I filed bankruptcy. And I end up with nothing. So it got Vincent and Kendall who were like, I was their boss. And then all of a sudden, like, can y'all become my roommates in these new jobs y'all got? We split the rent by 3 ways. And by the way, can we learn how to be friends instead of me being your boss? So that was a whole. I don't know if you understand what kind of psychologically what went on and spiritually when somebody go from being your pastor and your boss, the person that write you a check, to now you have a relationship that's horizontal. So once through all them change, that was a trip. Then Benson went on. Then I moved. I ended up moving, and I and hold on. I started I started moving other people in the house, some white girls. One named Belle. Shout out to Belle. Shout out to Elise that were living in there, paying part of the rent. It was hard. I always wore diamonds and jewelry and stuff. I always like that. Probably get that from my mama. I had to sell my diamond meltdown stuff, sell the diamonds over here, the gold over here. It was horrible. I lost my Escalade, my excuse me, my house is back in North Carolina. It went into foreclosure. Thankfully, it sold before the bankruptcy. I mean, before the foreclosure was complete, which gave me a little piece of money actually. It was difficult. Lost everything, my vehicles, everything I lost. That was in 2017. About all 2017 was hard, but that's when I had bouts with depression and all that kind of stuff. And then I never dealt with depression before that I remember. Um, and suicidal thoughts. But it took a minute. I went to counseling like 4 months, and that's the next year, first part of 2018. This period of my life lasted like a year and some change, but I began to implement certain things to tell right now. But I want to share this with you guys for people who are up under that post. Now listen, this is the powerful part. I went through all of that. Let me see what you. Oh, I can see your comments now. Oh yeah, that man, devastating, Rosalind. It's the whole book. That we doing a documentary, recording a documentary. It's gonna start in the midst of me doing this traveling. The production team is coming along. and they're doing a documentary on my life story. And at the end of that documentary, then my book gonna be released. But that's gonna air on Larry Live platform. That's not gonna be for subscribers. That's for everybody to see. Um, but if you already watched Reading Things My Way, this in the subscriber base we recorded last year, um, you already know a lot of this because we started telling this story last year. But anyway, I lost everything. So that was 2018, went through the cancer. Now, remember I said it was March 26, 2018 when I took over. Now, when I took over and I started doing my show on my own, this is when everything changed for me because this is really how it was supposed to be. When I took it over and I started doing exactly what God called me to do. Now, mind you, now, I had all these folks that were going crazy over my preaching, people that were going crazy, loving my group to travel and go sing. But those same people, when I started doing Larry Live, they couldn't discern that that was the thing that all of the prophecies that we have been hearing was going to be fulfilled in, not the preaching and the singing. It wasn't that. I thought it was. And from the way that I was raised and felt, I thought it was going to be that. But lo and better no, it was not that. It was this show that I sit up and just run my mouth and say whatever I want to say about whatever is going on. It was going to be that show. The show that people fling off as just being gossip. They fling off at, oh, you just telling lies. Because, people always vilify whatever they cannot understand or control. Remember that. They always vilify and make demonic and satanic what they can't understand or control. Let me repeat that again because that's a powerful point. You're going to need to know that. People always make demonic or the devil or fling off of something foolish or sinful that they don't understand or they cannot control. But that was the thing that God was going to manifest His word in. I have helped more people doing Larry Reid Live, and because of Larry Live, than me pastoring and traveling and singing for 20 years. I did it prior. That blows my mind. I went to LA. I mean, flew to New York. I mean, this happened anywhere I go. But last time, this reminder when I went to Manhattan to check in, and I said my name, and I spoke through my mask. I said, "Yeah, my name is Larry." She said, "Oh my God, Larry! Oh, I love you. I love you." So that's just going on. I can't go nowhere, and I hear from people everywhere in other countries every week. Hundreds of people, usually at least 1,200 people on my prayer line every single week. And my Patreon is thousands of people, subscribers. And I love you guys. Thank you. I couldn't do any of this doing what everybody wanted me to do. I couldn't do any of this. And I had to get some peace with who I am and what I'm called to do, and people not supporting it, especially people that I love. When I went home yesterday, I saw many of the spiritual people, ladies, who contributed to me being who I am. That's right. There was my father, number one, and my grandfather, number two. Number three and four is my pastor, Bishop L.L. Stevenson, and my mentor prior to Bishop Jordan, Elijah Forte, were strong influences in my life. And then I had friends that were like moms, Ella Bethea, Kathy Barnes, and her husband Onyx. I mean, uh, Martin, because she got married. Um, and there's a few other people, the Bonds from Elm Girl, mainly Kenneth Bond. There were a lot of people that were positive influences in my life, but my family, you talking Amy, Rita Ann, Janice, Aunt Chicken. I mean, people, Betty Jean. You got people who I don't care what I did. I was bad as a child. I was talented, but I was bad. They always loved and affirm and appreciate me. Now, my parents, just probably like anybody parents, most of my mom. Cause me and my dad, I always thought I was my dad's favorite child until I got old and started getting on mama nerves. And then mama started fussing at him about me. So then he like backed off. I told him that yesterday. Somebody should have been recording. But look, he called me my buddy boy. That was my nickname. Called his youngest son and his first son after he got saved. So, cause my daddy was an alcoholic who's now the pastor. And anyway, I went and visited these people, and I went to the bank, and I pulled out some money, and I put the cash and packed it in my bag. I said, I'm just gonna go, and y'all already know. Y'all heard me talk to my mom on the phone live. Y'all already know I sent my mom and them $4,000 a month. Their bills don't come but to 900 now that I paid most of them all. But I sent them $4,000 a month. And I went home. Now, if you on my IG, LarryReid Live, you can see. I show you my mom. I went there when I arrived at the house. My grandma, I should stay with her for like 2 years, helping her after grandpa died. I show y'all some stuff there, but the documentary gonna really be detailed and really professional. Even Janice, if you watch on my IG, she was talking about when everybody would be outside playing and I would come in the house and want to get on the piano and me and her and sing and stuff because I always had a love for music. But I saw these ladies, I mean, they still feel the same. You can tell they still love the Lord. And I saw a lot of them, even Uncle Alex. He was another person. Every time I saw Uncle Alex, which is Aunt Ruth's husband, which is my grandma's sister who passed, every time I would see him, he would try to give me a suit or a jacket and say, we didn't really sit down and talk. He would just always speak how positive. He said, man, you're talented, you're great. He saw me yesterday. He said, man, what you doing on that internet, your show, keep doing what you're doing. And everybody I saw, I'm so proud of you. I didn't always hear that. I didn't always hear that from my mom or my dad. 'Cause I was bad. And it's not so much because they like this or that. I was bad, so it's not easy raising me. Then after I got saved, I went from really bad to really spiritual. Now I'm prophesying and telling them that some stuff y'all I see over here. I don't think this is right. I don't agree with this. That was a whole lot. That was a lot to be the parents of. So these people I always heard positivity from. I saw this and I put some money in their hand. It was just so therapeutic of a trip to walk the same grounds where I was, when I walked when I was real young. And I really hadn't taken a breath to breathe since I really moved to Atlanta in 2015. I haven't been breathing, but I've been working. That's a foul statement. Just hear myself saying it. I have been in Atlanta working, doing what I supposed to do, but I forgot to breathe for myself. I've been breathing enough for y'all, for Lisa, the children, and my employees, the employees in being network, the subscribers, and just all the time leading up to that, just being in that grind, and not breathing. And so this is the first time that I'm taking a moment to breathe. And it feels good and it's therapeutic. And let me tell you this, I've got so many fresh ideas. And there's some things, I'm so glad that I had this moment before. There's some projects I'll be working on, y'all will hear about. I can't even speak on. I'm so glad I took this period now because I'm a great person, very nice person, kind, giving, loving. And but I see how folk can, start growing and get a little piece of change and they can become a little popular. And then before you know it, they end up, wait a minute, I know this is not what I think it is. Lord, it is. This Lisa cousin just came and sat right here beside me. He don't even know what it is. Ronnie, Ronnie, maybe it ain't one. Or you can't hear. But anyway, so I am so glad I took this moment because what could have happened was I end up growing and becoming somebody great. The next thing you know, I have a tragic end. And this is no shade to like Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston or something like that. You can find me in no bathtub, high, dead, with all sorts of stuff in my arm. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. That shall not be me because I know it's about to get really busy. There are 1,200 of you, 1,200 of you, of course, 8 and 12 is my number. Hit like and hit share and let everybody know that I've came on so that they can watch this video so they can see what has been going on. Okay, let me see. I'm going to read your comments and answer your questions. If you got a question, put it in here because it ain't time for us to start boarding yet. So let me read this. All right, right. Even the ones who are fully saturated in the Lord don't always understand how he moves. Thank you for listening to him and not others. Yes, Angela, that's the truth. God knows it's the truth. Did you say Aunt Chicken? Heck yeah. Her name is Veronica Brody. Her name is Aunt Chicken. We call her Aunt Chicken. The bad ones do be talented and gifted. It's the truth. That's me. Buddy Boy was my nickname from my father. Somebody said you found out that was your father's name, Buddy Boy, over real? Wow. That was my nickname from my father. From my Aunt Catherine was Lionel at Elm Grove, which is where I come out of, Bishop L.L. Stevenson. It was Little Larry. Yeah. And then at school, sometime it was Larry and then some pork chop. Well, I can't believe I'm telling all this. There's a whole lot to be telling. Pork chop. And then I had a stage name when me and this girl were, we sang together as a group. It was, I went by my middle name. It's spelled Darnell, but it's pronounced Donnell. So it would be Shay and Donnell. So that's me. Let's see. Yes, it felt good to hear. Absolutely. Yes, taking time to breathe for myself as opposed to breathing to keep everything afloat. You know, because you guys, I had to sell my clothes, my shoes, my jewelry, and I did not want to get back to where I was prior. You know, because when I first left home at 17 years old, there was a moment I was staying in my car. The church that I was assistant pastor of, since I had a key, I would go in there, take baths, and put on clothes. All my clothes was in the trunk. Lisa would, at one time, Lisa was sending me some of her money from Shoney. She was a waitress, wrapping it up in an envelope, sent it to me in Durham when I was in school. And Shamaka would take plates from his house, his mom and dad's house, and bring them out there to the church so I can eat. You know, so I didn't want to go back there because I left my parents' home at 17. Let me tell you how it happened. This may sound funny. Because I always wanted to go to church. I had somewhere to play because I always played at different churches, but when I got saved, I joined Elm Grove down the street, where I was the first one in the family to go join another church. So my mama mainly, I'm gonna say my parents, but really my mama, didn't like that I chose to do that. And I went and did it like without asking them. I said, this is where God told me to join. You know, and so I'm playing, using all my gifts down there. I mean, even some of the church people at First Baptist Eureka where I was raised, they felt like that, you know, I had betrayed the church. The man that pastors there now, Fred Presley, I remember him saying, you betrayed us and you left with the bro. I ain't never forgot that. But it wasn't true. I just did what God told me to do. I did not. I was doing what He told me to do, and so it just became a war. It became a consistent war from age 15 to 17. Staying in my mama's house. I got saved at 15, and it became a war. They knew I was a prophet. They knew I prophetic. You talk to my parents. They know I prophesied so many prophets done came to pass. It just, and then my first ministry was casting out demons. So that whole area knows and doing house cleansing. That whole area knows, especially when it comes to Goldsboro Raleigh assembly. those people that were there at that time, they know, okay, that's Prophet Reid. You know, he cast demons out, he prophesied, he a little weird. You know, and then I shifted, I went into the apostolic church, baptized in Jesus' name. Whole body submerged. Have you been submerged? Oh, you know, they were telling me, those of you that are patrons that are coming to the Reformation experience in Atlanta on during in July. I'm paying for all of you guys to do it. They trying to get a moment. Those of you that have not been baptized correctly. I said what I said. I said what I said. Those of you, there ain't nothing wrong with you being baptized. Let me start this. Ain't nothing wrong with you being baptized in the name of the Father, name of the Son, name of the Holy Ghost. Now I get it. But the biblications don't give but one way to be baptized. And just to make sure you got that lined up right, especially those of you that's called to the entertainment industry, Hollywood, like me, before you get out there, you be messing around. I got out there in Hollywood. Before you know it, you done forgot all about Jesus. That's not gonna happen to me. So you better get down. You better put them on through water baptism. So if you come and you want to be baptized in Jesus' name, you're a patron, let us know. We're gonna give you a link to sign up because there's gonna be a place in the hotel. They're gonna give up that pool, and we're gonna put some of y'all down in the water in Jesus' name. Yes, we shall. Even if you're Kojic, you can be baptized in Jesus' name, even if you're Kojic. I mean, you ain't gotta change your denomination. You just need to be smeared, submerged in His name. Okay, let me finish reading what y'all was saying. All right. You needed this break. You needed to clear your mind. Yeah, Regina. Wow, Larry, you really, really need this trip. So happy that you were blessed. Yeah, sometimes too, you have to go into solitude mode. It helps you. That's right, Phyllis. Thank you for getting up, being a moderator. Larry, I'm going to breathe for Deacon Shamako. Oh, you know that's Pastor Shamako, right? But we'll call each other by our first name. We won't get into all of that. How many times do we forget to breathe, busy helping others? You must put the oxygen mask on yourself. Ain't that what they say on the plane, Mark Keller? That's what they say. We don't be listening. My God. All right, I'm gonna go now. I'm behind. Let me scroll all the way down. Uh, Somebody said, "I hope it's the." Oh, it is absolutely. You listen to something. It is absolutely in the name of Black Jesus, not the white one. I only know the Black Jesus. I don't know white Jesus. I never met white Jesus. We know that white Jesus is the reason why they enslaved some black folk, them killed up the Indians. Mm-mm. I don't serve the white Jesus. I serve the black, woolly hair Jesus, the Jesus of justice. That's the Jesus that I serve. I don't say that one of y'all. I don't know what's going to be fooling with that. They said there's some trolls in here. Oh yeah, kill the trolls, Nancy. Just kill them. You know they're gonna be trolls in here. Somebody said wrap up pork chop. Oh, Lord Jesus. Hmm. If I lived in NC or ATL, I would be real big. Cincinnati food is. Listen, when I moved to Atlanta, I gained 25 pounds. Then later on, I gained some pounds on top of that. Before I know it, I was 238 pounds. Yep, I was. And so when I started that thing in August, now I'm down. Well, hold on, let's tell you the truth. I got down to 217. But then my birthday came and I went back to 223. Last I look, I was 221. But I ain't been eating that much, so I might be back down to 217. But I'm trying to get back to 206. That's my resting weight. At 6'2", 206 looks pretty slim. You know, so I got to get back to that. Maybe Larry. What alligator? I ain't addressed it. Let me tell you something. Nope. Mm-mm. So you got to know. Someone said I was in the kitchen singing niggas at my level. Let me tell you something. God used your, how can you say, God uses your haters as stepping stools. And let me tell you what haters are there. That Bible called them footstools. That make your enemies your footstools. Let me tell you what God did. Let me tell you what I used to do when people were talking crazy about me and it was lies. I used to get on live, call their name or make them up a name and address the lies. But you know what they ended up doing? They ended up making other platforms. There's a lady right now who all her followers come from me. A lady on YouTube, all her followers come from me. I used to address. I don't do that no more. I told y'all, if I clap back, if somebody in these comments, you become instant content, um, or somebody that has a big platform and got their own followers, like I clapped back the Kim Burrell now, the Winans. It was profitable for me to do that. It was business. I even done Nasty Patsy. She was connecting herself to her sister Yvonne. I think now she's up on the Apostle John Eckhart. I ain't gonna bring that back up because I don't know if she done repented or whatever. But that's the, that's what I do. But I don't do that no more. I'm too big. Now I'm too big. If I start running after what people be saying, or I can't do that, and I ain't gonna do it at this stage. And I don't even be knowing it unless somebody come tell me, because I watch talented people that are smart and got talent, funny, who working out of a spirit of light and kindness. That's the kind of people I like to vibe with. I like to fool up with. I don't really fool up with nobody else, and it just don't make sense. I see whole websites and YouTubes for Beyonce, for Oprah. Monique went out there and killed Oprah. Oprah didn't respond one time, and Monique was on huge platform. You just gotta know who you are. You don't address that kind of stuff. You let look at Monique and I love Monique. Look at Monique money and look at Oprah money. Look at Monique influence, and she's talented and have many accomplishments. And look at Oprah. Look at Tyler Perry's and Lee Daniels and Monique's. I'm not saying Monique was lying, but what I am saying is that when it comes to addressing somebody saying somebody, you know what I'm saying? Mm-mm, I don't do that. I don't even want to say this right here because that may help. Yeah. Somebody said in Jesus' name, you old school. Yeah, paper up. Yeah, I am. So I am. Let me tell y'all something. Somebody said when you clap back, it need to make sense. Come on, who that? Timmy Brunson? Okay, you get it. It gotta make sense for me. It gotta pull some money. It gotta be pulling some money. I'll boast and I'll brag, but I'm private about some things. If you knew what I knew about me and what did you not hear what I just said about living in a car and selling stuff? That was just 3 years ago. God has blessed me. All of my hard work and being nice to people and giving my everything away to other people and other people's family members. God has made sure He said, you know what? I saw everything you did. I'm gonna take care of you. And sometimes I'm overjoyed, and most of the times I'm numb. If I be honest, I got a little few problems in there. Still working out, but I am so honored to be able to be used. My funny, my foolishness, my faith. I am so man. I don't even know. It's so amazing to be honored like this by God and be able to help so many people because there's so many people I'm helping. All right, y'all only have done 179 reactions. And there are 1,246 people up here between Facebook and YouTube. I need for y'all to hit like and share right now to bust through this little shadow band thing. You know. Somebody said, Larry, but when you be reading them ninjas, I'll be out here screaming. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Now that I'm going to do that. Oh yeah. I mean, it's because it give me a moment to just like it's almost like a moment to just we used to call it the joining in school, and that's fun. So give me a moment to just really cut through. Yeah. Did they finally finish your remodeling your house? It wasn't remodeling of my house. It was building studios in the basement of my house. Remember, I built that first one. Well, I created the first one. It was a build in the house that Shamako stays in now, but that house is still in my name. But it's the ministry. It's what you call pastoral residence and episcopal residence. Those of you that understand the way that churches and nonprofits are set up, like parsonage. That's a Catholic term you should understand. So we run the businesses out of there and out of the basement. And so, and the one I'm in now, which is around the corner from there, it is. I have 3 studios in there. 3. LDR Enterprises built a studio in there. That's my record label. And then MBN Network built 2 studios in there. So 3 altogether. So that's how that went. Um, let's see. Yeah, y'all hit that like button. Everybody got to hit that like button so all my followers can see it. Reid, you be being funny a lot, but sometimes between all that, yeah, that's a strategy. Joy Amar, I use LarryReid Live as one huge funnel because most people look out here, and judging me according to these numbers and interactions out here. They don't even understand that I have an entire subscriber base. That's thousands of people that who are connected to me and who I am. If YouTube and Facebook went out today, this is if it went out today. Number one, all you would know to go to LarryReid.com. I can still go live from there because I own my own server and I have my page where it can handle tens of thousands of people live on it at one time. So that's number one. If I ever like disappear from social media and just done it on my site, I can. That's number one. But let's suppose it did. I still have thousands of people in my subscriber base, which is the backbone of what I'm doing out here. Yeah. And now out of the subscriber base, last year I had to start an online church. So then you have hundreds more that are members that I have to pastor through my pastoral elder. So there's so many things going on. Then there's the record label. LarryReid is a whole enterprise, several enterprises wrapped and tied up into one. And then I got my own personal coaching and counseling things that I ain't been able to do because I stay booked. Um, it's so much. It's so much. It's so much. But it was Larry Live that really pulled all of this into fruition. I thought it was gonna be other stuff, but it's this. Let me see what I'm gonna do. Uh, oh, Yvonne, you hit and share. Thank you, Lady Boy, for hitting and sharing. Thank you, Phyllis, for telling the people. Larry need to have a patron talk soon. Okay, I did have one, didn't I? Just do Patreon. Out there. When did I did Patreon? One the other day. One the other day I did Patreon. I just did Patreon, didn't I? I went live in there last week and twice. You must have missed that. Go back and watch. There's some important information in there. Robin Spencer being a patron and Patreon is the best thing I ever did. Such a it is. It really is. Yep, yep. Uh-huh. Oh, did y'all see when I surprised Bishop? Go watch that video. His wife helped me do it. Mhm. Yes, Denise Clark. I think I explained this. Let me make sure I said this. Another reason why you should keep hoes happy. You never know when you may need them to help you through a rough patch. First of all, let me tell you about that. Markella John. Markella. Y'all know I've been saying the whole keep your hoes happy. Let me explain it for those you paper Bible save and think I'm telling people, just have several hoes. That ain't. Point is, people have hoes. I'm going to say that. Your favorite preacher, artist, blogger, influencer, married or not, 9 times out of 10, or I'm going to say at least the potential to have hoes. What you and somebody else do ain't nobody's business. It's you and theirs, and ain't nobody got no business knowing. But when you start treating folk right, and you don't do right by people, that's how your business ends up getting on the street. It won't never be on Larry Live if it don't become public first. And the way stuff get public is because you don't do folk right. So that's why I say keep your hoes happy. Number darn one. And if you somebody like me, you not gonna hold. Let me tell you something. Anybody ever come talking about some old little somebody that ain't known or nothing and ain't got nothing to lose? Talking about, well, me and Larry, we were kissing. Me and Larry, he was touching my titty. Larry was rubbing his fingers through my hair. And they don't have a pot to piss in. That's a whole lie because I'm past that level. Now they said that I did that 25 years ago. Maybe. Because I was stupid. I was in my 20s 25 years ago. I was stupid. Maybe I did give them time they say, look, something ain't got no business saying. I probably ain't touched them. But I probably said something ain't got no business saying. I probably did. I was a little stupid and dumb. And I ain't had too much myself. But do you know? There's no. I'm not that kind of stupid. Everybody got dumb parts and smart parts, but I don't have most of the dumb parts that I see most of these people out here have. No, that's not gonna be. I even told somebody the other day. I said, if you got to have it like that and have it that bad all the darn time, why don't you go buy some? Because if you go buy some, you do know if you go buy some, them people that can go tell nobody because most of these places it's illegal, especially if y'all absolutely verrücking. Now, if y'all just touching and rubbing the high air, I don't know what the charge is for that, if that's illegal or not. I don't know if that's illegal, but go buy some. Go buy you some, because that person can't go tell nobody. So go pay for them. You go pay for them. Otherwise, like Mark Keller said, keep your hoes happy. A happy hoe is a confidential hoe. Ain't nobody gonna tell. I don't care. Even if they know that man say I might not be the only hoe, and he made me sick and he mad. I'm so mad with him about that. But you got Birkin bags, rent paid up for 3, 4 months, and your feelings ain't involved. I see that's another thing. The hoes, y'all don't get your feelings involved. Just make some kind of commitment, whatever that is, to that consistent team that's paying, and also you're pay to lay. Remember what I told you, pay to lay? That's right. Now, so if they doing what they need to do, keep the secret. Now you ain't got the business doing none of this. I'm talking about if you pay for Bible state, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying. If you're gonna do wrong right, and make sure your mess is paid. Pay off all your credit card bills. If you land down with them, get your credit card bills, get stuff covered. When you walk away from there, you is doing all right. If they drop you, like, well, at least I got my credit card paid. Something. Don't walk out of this thing with nothing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, so. Somebody said, quit talking about that. They twisted my words in the chat. They are. Well, people always do that. So, yeah. All right. All right. I'll let you guys go, and you guys take care of yourself. And I'm gonna be popping up. Now, this is how you're gonna know when I pop up. Text Larry Reid live, Larry Reid live to 33222. I'm gonna text you. I think I text you guys, or they saying that's ready to board. I think I text you guys before I came live. I tried to on my laptop. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Make sure you hit like and share so everybody know that I was on. They can find out what's going on. Um, but I ain't talking. Come on here and talk no more this mushy stuff. I just happen to go home. You got me in my feelings. But I ain't gonna be talking about this kind of stuff no damn more. That's it. I'm gonna try now because I'm gonna just come in here and just talk raggedy and reckless about everything that's going on in everybody else's life. That's what I'm be doing. And Patreon, I talk about my life. Out here, I don't be doing that. So if you're in Patreon, you know everything there is to know about me, Lisa, and everybody else. Let me get on because we got to go about our business. I might see you later. Goodbye. Hallelujah.